Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. It's a bright, sunshiny day outside today. It's a bright, sunshiny day within today. It's just wonderful to greet you with peace and joy. Just the most wonderful thing in the world to know that peace and that joy within ourselves. May we continue to exemplify this wonderful peace and joy as we make our way here on the planet through the material realms and beyond. Having said that, just a couple of announcements today. First of all, our membership directory. Many of you have signed up for the membership directory, and we'll be sending it out tomorrow morning. You get an email with all of the downloads. I hope you'll enjoy the directory. Also, you should have received this week a member survey. Again, we just ask you to take the time to look at the email, to go through the member survey, make any comments you would like to make. It's anonymous, so please feel free to write whatever you truly feel. It'll be very helpful to us. And then also tonight, we'll be having our testimonial from 6 to 7:30. Connie Quednow from Indianapolis will be our speaker. Connie will have a wonderful, wonderful testimonial. I certainly welcome you to join us tonight from 6 to 7:30. It continues to be a great joy to greet you truly in this weekly teaching. Much of the joy comes from each one of you, truly. When I hear that you are meditating more, when I hear that you are kinder and happier, and when I hear that you're simply dealing with life better, it gives me a great prompting of joy to simply know this. Our movement forward is the subject of today's teaching entitled The Inner Light, Part 5, Putting the Inner Light into Daily Practice. Before proceeding, let me review the first 4 teachings of the inner light. In session 1, we talked about the inner illumination, that inner light, that inner knowing that many of us now are experiencing. In session 2, we focused on how this inner light has transformed our sense of self from a limited third-dimensional human into that fifth-dimensional eternal soul in conscious connection with the God Spirit. Quite an accomplishment to daily be in connection with that God Spirit. And then in session 3, we focused on how do you want to go forward for the rest of your life? How do you want to experience yourself? Hopefully, as a Christed being of light and love, a beautiful, living light in the world, something that we have been in training for quite some time. And then part 4, experiencing yourself as a pure heart, as we focused on Jesus's teaching of the 6th Beatitude. Blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall experience God here and now. I believe with this background, we are now ready for part 5, putting the concepts into concrete practice. Putting the concepts into concrete practice. Let's begin. The end game of life, I would suggest to you, is to show up. Is to show up in life as a pure heart, as a Christed being in our daily living, to express the light, to create on a daily basis. Oftentimes, however, putting these ideas into practice is difficult for 2 related reasons. The first one is the more difficult one, but the second one is challenging as well. The first reason is that, well, not everybody thinks the way you do. So many people are not as loving and kind as you are, and they have very strong opinions about others, and perhaps maybe even about you and some of your ideas. These are certainly not bad people, but many just disagree with your viewpoints. You probably know such people, perhaps in your own family and among some of your friends. They are just not on the same page as you are. The second reason, as you have heard on so many occasions while initiating a project, the devil is in the details. The devil is in the details. Even among like-minded people, people often have preferences, and these preferences often result in different opinions that limit cooperation and support. And let me ask that you turn your videos off, if you would, please. If you would turn your videos off, it'll be less perhaps obtrusive for others. Thank you. While either of these two reasons can be very difficult, people disagreeing with your viewpoints and also the devil being in those details, it's very easy to throw in the towel and not proceed with your inner light. Thus, a very legitimate question arises. What do you have going for you that will spur you on to manifest the inner light despite the obvious challenges to you? I suggest that we have 6 things going for us to be the light in the world. I ask you to reflect on them and to see your power through them. First, the first thing I feel that we have going for us is your inner intention. By your inner intention, I mean the inner motivation, that power within you that is prompting your actions. It's not just the little you that is having a bright idea, but rather you recognize that you are being motivated by the Holy Spirit, that you are being motivated by the God Self. And the most beautiful thing about this motivation, is that with the motivation comes the empowerment to execute it. With the motivation comes the empowerment to execute it. You begin to quickly realize that there is a bigger energy within you that is motivating you. There is a bigger energy that is supporting your efforts. There is a bigger energy at play, raising your human motivation to a much higher spiritual level. Such a bigger motivation, a bigger energy is what we all need, especially at the beginning of our movements as we try to be a pure heart in the world. In a nutshell, the internal guidance will always lead to external empowerment. Please do not forget this. When you are internally guided by the Spirit, you will similarly be empowered. The second thing we have going for us. The second thing is so very important, but often underestimated. The second thing is that you have respect for the other people involved in your situation. This respect for other people tempers how you deal with them. You truly understand that in dealing with others, you do not try to force or control them, but rather you come to the situation in the following manner. You realize that in speaking to another, it's not just what you say, it's not just how you say it, but rather it's where it comes from. Because you are coming from a more loving, respectful place. Because you are coming from a pure heart. Your words and your actions are softer and gentler. Your words come out differently when they come from the purity of your heart. Your actions are so much more gentle. And As a result, more and more often than not, those who hear your words and see your actions receive them in a much more gentle and respectful manner. You don't try to force your way. You don't try to make people be controlled. Forcing your way is no longer your way anymore. You are so respectful of others, and it comes from the purity of your own heart. Not forcing your way and being respectful of others leads to the third point. I believe that this third point is such an important one for us to understand, and that is that when we act from the pure heart, we are not attached to the results of a situation. This obviously does not mean that you don't care about the results, but as stated, you are not attached to the results for the following three reasons. First, you understand that the most important thing for you to do is to show up and do your best, and you allow the universe to take care of the rest. You show up and you do your best and allow the universe to take care of the rest. The attachment is not to the results, but rather showing up and doing your best. This is such an important thing for us to grasp. We show up and we do our best. The universe does the rest. Secondly, as you respect each other person that might be involved, you realize that every other person is on their own soul journey. You understand this, and you can allow them to be who they are. Your job is not to control or force them, but to simply show up and assist them in their journey, allowing them to make that final decision. And thirdly, you do not take these things personally, but rather you're quite content to have shown up and done your best. Whereas one of our people said very recently, I simply show up and do my best. I drop my stone in the lake and I allow the ripples to go where they will to do the most good. Such a solid view. Allow the ripples to go out. The fourth thing that you are doing for yourself and for others is a very important thing as well, and that is that you have a more extensive view of the situation in front of you. By this I mean that you realize that there is more that is going on than just the surface reality. So many people make the mistake of wanting things to change on the surface without realizing that there are many more factors on the emotional, mental, and spiritual levels which also need to be considered. In fact, you begin to realize that surface realities are just that. They are surface realities that come and go. But the real juice of life, the real juice, is what is happening at those deeper emotional, mental, and spiritual levels. You clearly see that your more extensive view of what is going on at the deeper levels is so much more important. You know that you are acting from a pure motivation and that you are following your internal guide. And because you are acting from a pure motivation and following your internal guide, you will always do the appropriate thing. More than this, you cannot do. But with this larger, more extensive view, you truly know that there is more that is going on that is simply on the surface. You no longer miss the forest for the trees. You are quite content to allow the ripples to go out. You have a bigger view. You don't confuse the surface with the real juice. The fifth thing you have going for you is quite a gem. In essence, what it states is that each time you extend your light into the world, each time you extend your Christed self into the world, you begin to build up the confidence that continues to build up even greater confidence. Because you have not only, in a sense, that initial knowing that you are doing your best, but also you realize where the source of that power is coming from. There is a success within you that comes from listening to that inner power and putting it into practice. You become just more and more conscious that things go better for you and go better for others when you show up as the light of the world. Every time you show up in this way, there is a greater manifestation of goodness at so many levels, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And then you begin to realize that you are not here on the planet just to accomplish things, but rather you are here to bring the light. You are here to bring the light within yourself and for others. You realize that your greatest accomplishment is to be the greater light, to be a radiant light, and in the process, to invite others to know themselves in the same way. I hope you feel this. Your greatest accomplishment is to be the light, to be the illumination which sees clearly and invites others to do the same. This is what we are most here to be and to do. Sometimes I know that you pause every once in a while, and you're probably amazed at what you're doing. You are beginning to admit to yourself what others are clearly seeing you to be, that you are a light for the direction of humanity, no less than Jesus and the countless others have done over the period of history. You are the light in this present moment of history. It's what you've been training for. It's quite an accomplishment. There is a sixth thing you also have going for you, namely, you have come to realize not only that you have grown, but you've also come to realize there are two major foundations of your growth. Let me focus on these two major foundations, the sixth thing that you have going for you. The first foundation of your growth is your daily spiritual practice. Make no mistakes about that. It's your daily spiritual practice, from meditation to affirmations to yoga. You have established a daily routine of what you know that you need, namely daily spiritual attunement, with these two surprises. First, you have developed the discipline of daily practices. From talking with many of you, I know that many of you resisted this discipline of daily practice for years until you finally realize that you won't grow, you can't grow without it. Daily practice. But the second reason is even more compelling, more surprising. Little by little, but more and more, you realize that you not only need to do these practices, but now you look forward to them because of what they do for you. They enable you to be the light for yourself and for others. You have begun to enjoy being spiritual. Quite an accomplishment. You've enjoyed becoming spiritual. Quite an accomplishment. The second thing that you have learned, in addition to your daily spiritual practices, is the importance of growing spiritually with others. Whether that other be one person as a teacher, but especially growing with others in a group in which you truly enjoy being with like-minded people. Without a doubt, the best part of Now Creations has been the support of spiritual inspiration that we give to each other, especially considered in our Zoom classes and ever-increasing members in our members directory. We are growing together, and as we do so, our individual light is so amplified by group energy. Are you not experiencing this? That your individual light gets amplified in the context of a group energy. You and we are conscious lights in the world, bringing the conscious Christed presence of heaven to earth. Do you clearly understand what you are doing? You are bringing the light to the planet. You are illuminating humanity. The truth of life is not what you see on TV or read in your newspapers. It's a lot of third-dimensional drama. The truth of life is what is in your heart. It is in the kindness, the love, the creativity, and the goodness of what life is meant to be. Do not be duped by the drama. Do not be duped by the drama. Stay in the beauty of your light. And let's help each other to do so. In conclusion, it's been a joy to present these 5 parts of the teaching of the inner light, from understanding what the inner illumination is to bringing this light into concrete enjoyments of everyday living. Again, do you realize what you are consciously creating? It's amazing. It's wonderful. And isn't it joyful? I have only one additional comment. This is only the beginning. Let me now take you into meditation, and what a joy it is to do so. Let us begin as we normally do, by simply focusing on the breath and never doubting the efficacy of simply focusing on the breath, allowing the breath to settle your body, to settle your minds, and allowing that life force in the breath to bring your soul to the fore. Please begin. And would you simply now say to yourself, here I am. Here I am again. And when you say to yourself, here I am again, you know that it is the inner you. Would you just focus on this? This is the inner me. This is my soul self. This is the part of the divine that is individuating as me, as my soul. And would you say to yourself that I am consciously aware of me? I'm very conscious. This is me, my soul self. Now I'm going to ask you honestly, as soon as you said to yourself, this is me, I'm consciously aware of my soul self, did you not get a little burst of energy? This is you. This is you. Consciously aware of yourself. And would you just as consciously know that this is you, but it is the you that is connected to your God spirit. It's really the bigger you. It is your soul connected to your spirit. This is the way that you are showing up in the world as an individuating soul guided by the universal spirit. This is the way you're showing up. In which you acknowledge the fact that you no longer are duped by the dramas of life. Not that you don't care, but you're just not fooled by a lot of surface stuff. A lot of people still are fooled by surface, but you're not. You're done with the superficial. And you also know that you don't need other people's permission for you to be you. You've stopped that. You are being you from your own pure heart, from your conscious inner guidance. That's quite an accomplishment. Bravo. Rather than being duped by drama, looking for permission, are you not showing up as just your loveliest, kindest, smartest, creative, intelligent self? You are in full command of how you're showing up. Please absorb that. You are in full command of how you are showing up. And as soon as I said, you are in full command, did you notice again that surge of energy, that vitality within you that just came forward, saying, this is fun. This is fun to be a conscious, loving, creative, smart energy. This is fun. And would you say to yourself, I am a light to the world. I know what's really real, and without trying to force, without trying to control, I simply assist others to know their own inner light. My pebble is in the water. The ripples are going out. And lastly, would you take a moment to be thankful not only for those in the past who have assisted in your growth, but also for the present people who are assisting in your growth, and might I suggest you assisting in their growth. May you just be thankful for those of us who are assisting each other. What a wonderful gift we are to each other. We are helping each other in the most wonderful way possible.
You need to be within that space. I honor thee, seen through eyes of illusion, seen through spirit. We are one. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor
What fun. What fun. We are the light of the world. And we know that we are. If that's not a cause for joy, I don't know what is. Oh, and it's only the beginning. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Vince.
You're welcome. Let's just greet everyone. Please feel comfortable to turn on your videos if you would like, and anything else you want to turn on, your microphones and so on. And
Thank you.
my gosh.
Thank you. Hi, John.
Thank you, Vince. It was
Hey,
wonderful.
hello. Good morning,
Hi,
everybody.
everyone.
Wow, what a morning.
Good morning.
So good to be
Morning.
here.
Yeah.
Wonderful
yeah,
message, Vince.
Absolutely.
Here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm.
Happy to share it. Happy to share it. And we are doing
Wonderful.
this.
Thank
We
you.
are.
Thank you.
Yes, we are.
Amen.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And please feel comfortable to join us this evening for Connie's presentation. It'll be fun. Members director tomorrow. And oh boy, other things in the pipeline, other things coming. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Fun.
Namaste.
Namaste.